Hi, everyone. Welcome to Brown Bag Lunch with me, Laura Collins, the Athlete Psychotherapist. Thank you joining us live, or thank you watching the recording later. So happy to have you here and honored that you would share a part of your lunch with us today. If you have any questions or comments, please don't be shy to put them into the comments section. Even if it's long after the live chat is over, we want to keep these conversations rolling. So thank you again. Here with me in the kitchen is my dear friend Shai Goodman, and I cannot say enough about my wonderful, wonderful friend. This is a kick-ass human being, by the way. For her full story, I would highly recommend going to the podcast Tenacity Season 4, where Shai really spells out her journey, and it is an amazing journey. She is a retired, I'm going to say, baseball player, woman baseball player here, folks. Um, and lacrosse player, played with Occidental College in Southern California, where she is now one of the strength and conditioning coaches. So awesome. Personal trainer, consultant, program developer, has like incredible researcher, has done amazing things in the name of high performance and athletics. And I am so honored to call her a friend. Shai, welcome.
Oh my goodness, Laura, thank you so much. What a welcome. I'm totally blushing if that's not so clear.
Well, let's get down to it because we only got 20 minutes. I have a question for us. I'm going to put it up here. Okay. So, anyone that's listening in, feel free to put some thoughts and feelings into the chat. But Shai, what do you think we get wrong about high performance? This question came to me because I think, when you read over LinkedIn, you look over social media, it's always about like things that you need to achieve. And that's fine. It should be. That's what we're all trying to develop our skill sets about it. But it also made me think about like, what are some of the things we're missing or the things that we're like doing too much in a way? So, what do you think we get wrong about high performance, especially in the environments that we came up in?
Yeah, no, it's a really good question. And I feel like very classic Laura with a very thoughtful question. Um, I don't know, just like quickly thinking about it, I feel like we can really overcomplicate high performance. I think there's a lot of noise on Instagram, on social media, that it's like you need to have this kind of equipment, you need to be eating this way, you need to be sleeping this way or whatever, like optimize. And obviously, like at the elite level, we're looking for, marginal gains to get, small percentage points better to like achieve those like high performance elite levels. But I really don't think it's that complicated, honestly. And I feel like I see this when I work with athletes a lot is it's just like eat enough always, sleep a lot when you can, form over everything else, and like push yourself hard. And I think, you know what I mean? Like, and push yourself hard most of the times, giving yourself ample time to recover too. But, I don't know. I just think like, at least I have at points in my own like athletic journey been like, oh, I need to be doing all these other things. And then it's like this huge mountain and it makes getting and like being in this high performance zone so unpleasant because you're just juggling so much and you're constantly berating yourself for not doing enough. And I think if we can just like pare back a little bit, that's really when we see progress happen.
Mhm,
That's kind of like
mhm,
when I first read the question, that is like kind of what came to mind right off the
mhm.
jump.
When you think about that, now that you are guiding athletes right now in their training, and I know we were talking about strength and conditioning, and that can be physical, but the weight room we know is a place of socialization. It's a place of camaraderie. It's a place of growing together. It's such a mental health space. Actually, it's a community space. So thinking about that, like, what are you doing? What are your goals for your teams right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good point. And I think, like, to me, camaraderie is everything. Like, can we get everybody bought in and stoked and like supporting each other in a real, like practicing using their voice, like we do on Wednesdays. So, like, I coach the volleyball team or I strength and condition coach the volleyball team at Occidental College. And we were lifting 3 days a week, and then we've transitioned to lifting 2 days a week and doing 1 day a week of agility. It's just focused agility work,
Mhm,
um, which I think is really important, just from like a ACL injury prevention perspective, just like general injury prevention. We do a lot of ladders, we do a lot of plyometrics, stuff like that. But we always try and end with some sort of like little competition and stuff like, and whether it's on the ladders or whether it's hopping or whatever. But I'm always trying to get the women on my program to be like screaming for each other, like just every time it's like, Kayla, go, 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 like really trying to use their voice to cheer each other on. And just like, because it's a muscle to practice like anything else. And it's like, if you can practice cheering your teammate on in something silly like an agility competition, you'll remember that kind of muscle when you're having a shitty practice or when it's like game day, because it's, I don't know, I just see the spark happen when people are talking and when people are feeding off each other.
Ooh, I love that. I absolutely, absolutely love that. And you were just sharing with me, is that okay if you can share what you did
Please,
this
yeah.
morning with everybody, which I thought was super cool. Um, Shay shared this really incredible video of what she did with the athletes this morning.
Yeah, it was funny. Well, I have to give some credit to the women's soccer coach at Oxy. Their schedule switched and they ended up in the weight room with us too. And we kind of had our normal Thursday lift. And she comes up to me like about halfway through our lift and she was like, should we do a little competition at the end? And I was like, oh yeah, like the volleyball team, especially when there's anything competitive, it just like lights a fire for them. So she was like, we should do like a hanging competition and like see where it goes. So we nominated a couple girls from volleyball to compete against a couple girls from soccer. And it was just electric in the weight room. I really felt like I saw all the like practice that we did cheering each other on really come out. We did take the win, I have to say it. But we did a playing competition afterwards, and soccer was pretty impressive. I mean, some of these girls were holding planks for like 5-6 minutes. So I was like very impressed.
Wow.
But it
Wow.
was so fun. I mean, I think it can be hard to ask, college students to be in the weight room at 6 a.m., 7 a.m. and to come in and be motivated. And, I really just, I can't control a lot of things, but what I can control is just like coming in and being positive and like cheering everybody on. And when somebody makes that form correction that they've been like trying to materialize all semester and they finally do it, I can be their biggest hype person. And like, that's really the example that I'm trying to set. At least, that's this week's goal.
Mm, I love that. Shay, what are you giving to your athletes that you did not get?
I tell them literally every single lift at the end of lift, like, you gotta fuel the work you're doing. I the prevalence of disordered eating and like issues in that kind of realm among college athletes, especially, female college athletes, non-binary college athletes. I mean, male college athletes as well. I think I work mostly with women's teams, so I see that playing out more. But just I want to tell them every day to fuel the work because they are, training so hard multiple times a day. They're putting their bodies through so much, and it just requires the fuel to like, that is the performance mechanism. Like, to me, I'm like, you fuel your body, right? You see the results in the weight room. You see it on the volleyball court. You see it on the lacrosse field. It's injury prevention. It's fatigue resistance. It's better recovery. It's all these things. And I think nobody told me that explicitly. And, I've struggled with issues over the years. And I think if I maybe had just heard it from a leader that I, respected all the time, like, I think it's just something that even if they ignore me 99% of the time, or it resonates with one of them, or if one of them is like, oh, wow, like maybe I should just grab the banana before lift, I'm like, hell yes. That makes me feel like I'm doing something right.
Hmm. Hmm. And I just want to take it a bit more that to be able to do that, and I'm thinking about just like the psychological background. There's a theory of like healthy narcissism. You have to have a little bit of not so much narcissism that nothing matters to you except yourself, but you have to have enough healthy narcissism in order to want to take care of yourself. And that's really, really important. So that means recognizing that I am worth the banana that I'm about to eat to fuel my body for before I go to training. I am worth the rest. That rest and is going to equal productivity because my body needs the rest. And so I am worth and I'm deserving of this rest. That is also part and parcel. That's why mind and body are always integrated, they're always connected. So, if I think about when I was an athlete and the things that I would or would not do for my body, some of it, yes, is messaging because it doesn't just come up for ourselves. So much goes towards like athlete, you have to do X, Y, and Z, and you have to do it really well. But not recognizing that the athlete grew up in an environment that was also giving lots of messaging. What is the messaging about the body, refueling,
Totally.
productivity, rest, all these things? What does it mean as a woman body, as a man body, as a non binary body? Like, what is deserving of all these things? And so, just as you're talking, I'm thinking about the athletes and the coaches that I work with, and just we work a lot on like that messaging of what is it that I deserve. If I rest, am I being lazy? Because I was told I was lazy. If I'm injured, am I, I'm just a dead weight and I'm a waste of time. Like what are we telling our athletes? What as coaches, as parents, as guardians, as fans? So nothing is ever just like okay, we just do this one thing. It's so much bigger. It
Totally.
is from a social work perspective, we call it person in environment that we can tell I can tell the athlete, I can tell the coach, you deserve the rest and care. But if that messaging that they've gotten so many years for so long is telling them, no, but that's going to equal lazy or going to equal something that's going to bring back criticism, they're not likely to do it. So I love that you are giving this messaging to these young folks, and that's going to it's not just about fueling them in the moment and providing team cohesion. It's gonna carry them, like, long after they're done with their careers, and so that is really, really cool.
Oh, thank you. I mean, I hope so. I hope it lingers. We've talked about that a lot where it's like there's so many benefits that you get from college athletics that, do take you like well beyond it. And then there's also, as we've spoken about, a lot of, negative stuff that can come with it. And I mean, I think another thing just as you were talking that I was thinking about is like trying to show them that they have bodily autonomy even within the confines of a collegiate sports system. I think it's a really tricky thing when, as a coach, it's like, okay, here's the program that I've written for volleyball for this week. And, here's how you're supposed to be feeling good and you're supposed to execute against the program. But what if you're not? And what if you're hurting? And like, how do you tell that to the coach or to your teammates when there's expectations on you, expectations to perform on the court or on the field and the weight room, and you don't want to be benched, you don't look bad, but maybe you're in pain. And I think it's a conversation that I feel like I'm trying to have with the athletes. Sometimes what I've been doing is I'll have them close their eyes in the beginning of lift, and I'll say like, raise your hand if you're feeling really, really good. And everybody has their eyes closed. Raise your hand if you're feeling like I'm feeling kind of mid. Raise your hand if you're feeling like not like trash, whatever. But I have them keep their eyes closed because that social peer pressure really does influence, who raises their hand and who doesn't. And I think if
Mhm,
I can see like, okay, this person's like really kind of having a tough time right now and isn't feeling great, maybe I'm not going to push it with them. B, go up to them and say like, hey, like maybe I'll pull them aside and be like, hey, what can we modify today? Like we're supposed to be back squatting today. Maybe that's not going to feel good for you. But it's also, I think it is on the coach too to, even in the warm up yesterday for agility, I had a girl who was like, as we were doing our dynamic warm up, just seemed off. And I went up to her and I was like, hey, are you good? And she was like, my back is throbbing. And I was like,
mm,
you're not going to lift today. Let's do something different. And also, like, I was like, I want you to feel empowered to tell me that your back is hurting before this starts. Like, and that is where eventually, like, I want them to be able to get, like, they feel comfortable enough to tell me without me asking. But also, they're 19 years old and they're learning how to do this. And it's on both of us to, like, be informed and be looking out for those kinds of things.
mhm. It's perfect timing because we just have a few minutes left. So this is a reminder. I want this to go out to everybody who's listening right now. If sometimes like being able to reach out to coach might not always be the most comfortable thing to do, and I certainly work with a lot of athletes on how to just have conversations with their coaches. We don't want to look a certain way. We don't want them to think of us in a certain way. But you've got lift coaches, strength and conditioning coaches, go to your athletic trainers, you've got therapists, you can DM me, DM Laura, um, reach out to people that you trust. Because as you can see, these people are in your court. They're there, they've got your back, and they want you to thrive. They want you to be able to have healthy conversations so that you can advocate the best that you can for your body, for your mental health, for your, your spiritual and your holistic self. So to your point, Shay, you just spelled it out beautifully that your role isn't just developing their physique and their needs for their sport. You are creating whole people right there. You're creating team cohesion. You're also helping every one of those women develop their voice and connect with it. I love that. That is so empowering and amazing. And most of all, that you are facilitating that trust and care. They know like no matter what's going on, I can talk to Shay. And so let's strive to be those kinds of people in these athletes' worlds and orbits right now, because we need that. We need that trust and experience, that sense of community. It's clearly healing for you as an athlete, and it's clearly healing for me to hear it. I love that. I know that like my kid who's an athlete would have a Shay in their life. I love that we are all looking out for our athletes, and that's the best. That's the best that we could do.
Thank you,
I
Laura.
love that. You're amazing. Well, everybody, I do have to do a big plug. Um,
Thank
Shay
you.
is also a gifted, talented host of a wonderful podcast called Physically Educated. Please do check it out. It is fantastic. How are you able to juggle doing podcasting and coaching right now?
I'm taking a little podcast break. I've also been working at this amazing organization called Salted Roots. So I just wanted to plug Salted Roots too. They're a nonprofit based in Oakland that focuses on, they do a lot of amazing things around like ocean access, environmental stewardship, and like surf programming specifically for girls, women, and gender expansive people of color. So I've been working with them on the kind of development side, doing some marketing and development stuff. But they're just an awesome organization. So it's been just a very, very busy few months for me personally. So the podcast has taken a little bit of a break. But this summer, I'm really going to try and either get back to like a season, I guess, 3 of the podcast, or transition to more of like a Substack writing practice, because I like to write too. And
Mhm.
sometimes I think writing is a little bit easier than podcasting. As you know, I mean, Tenacity is amazing, but it takes a lot of work.
It does. Yeah.
It's a lot of editing and programming and all that fun stuff.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for your love and care for the planet and for all of us and for your athletes. And we just appreciate you so much. Shay, before we head out, I know it's breakfast for you there and it's lunch for me here. I am about to scarf into my Special K cereal right now because
That's lunch.
I have had a renewed obsession with cereal as of recent. The kids have been asking for like Cocoa Pebbles, and I
Yes.
found Frosted Mini Wheats. I was on this like, I get obsessive about like, I like something, I'm going to eat it straight for
Yep.
weeks and
A
then I'll be sick of it. Same
hyperfixation
thing.
meal. Yep.
Oh my God, it's very my brain. The same thing with like music. I will get like obsessed with one song. It will go for like 3 weeks and then I'll be done with it. So currently I'm on a Special K obsessive kick. So I know, but I will have my meaty dinner. Do not worry.
Good.
So how about
Good.
you, Shay? How are you starting off your day out there in California?
Well, I totally get the cereal kick. I'm also on that wave. I've really been on a life cereal, just like sleeper hit of a cereal. But I actually just had oatmeal, peanut butter, banana breakfast. I'm about to get my run in now because I coached this morning, and then I'll transition to some another second breakfast, which will be a mixture of yogurt and flax and chia and
Nice.
all this other stuff in it. But yeah, it's a carb fueled pre-run oatmeal situation.
Sounds great. It's like 11 Z's. Yummy, delicious. Well, thank you, everyone. If you have any questions, don't be shy to reach out. This is my website, lcollinslcsw.com. Um, the recordings after this are all going to be on YouTube, as you all know. So do not be shy to reach out. If you need anything, reach out to Shay. Shay is on LinkedIn and does amazing things. Feel free to reach out to me as well. And thank you so much. We will see you in 2 weeks when my guest is going to be Nassim Kapti, who is the founder of Camilla Coaching. Absolutely sensational. I'm so excited to have her in the kitchen. So be well, everyone. Take care. Bye.
Thank you, Laura.